Hi, I'm Tom, but you can call me Matt. Recently, I noticed more people creating their own FNaf theories. However, it seems an unusual number of FNaf theorists seem to miss the key detail of security breach that changes just about everything about the game. You see, while playing Security Breach, I noticed an interesting detail in the credits. Aside from the fact you can actually walk around and get jump scared in the credits. You see, Vanny and Vanessa have different voice actors. Although I pretty much forgot about it after a few seconds and continued playing, I later decided to investigate further, and I listened to their voices side by side and was caught off guard by something interesting. They sounded quite different from each other.
Are you having fun yet?
Hello, little boy! If you're down here, say something!
It wasn't enough of a detail to come to any conclusions for me at that moment, but it was a thread that I decided to follow. While replaying the game, I noticed that under the right conditions, Vanny and Vanessa can spawn in the same place at the same time. For a moment, I thought this meant they were two separate people, but then I remembered how buggy the game was and how specific the scenario needed to be for it to occur, and this situation could have just been a bug. But it did start getting me to ask the question, are they really the same person? See, I looked into it further. If they weren't the same person, there would be more than loose threads. There would be some concrete evidence that proves it. So I decided to look back through the game and came up to a moment that takes place between 1:45 a.m. and 2 a.m. and realized something interesting. We're supposed to believe that Vanessa catches Gregory, and while he's unconscious, she locks him up in Lost and Found, records a video of herself talking to him, changes to the Vanny costume, set up a live feed of herself so that the exact moment Gregory wakes up, the recording would play, and then cut to her live feed so she could taunt him, then meander her way over to Gregory so she could kill him off or capture him or whatever. It's exceptionally elaborate for that short period of time, especially since that is exactly when she learns Gregory's name during that time period. It makes more sense that the simpler solution is just that they're two different people, and Occam's razor says to follow the simpler solution. But even though, that still doesn't prove anything. At this point in my search, I was at a dead end. I was questioning if I even went down the right path. Then I suddenly remembered something interesting. I remembered the very ending that I was watching the credits that caused me to start going down this path was the fire escape ending. In this ending, we see Gregory unmask Vanny only to show that it was Vanessa's face. No surprise, we are supposed to believe that they are the same person at this point. But when the credits are done, we see Vanessa looking down from on top of the fire escape at Vanny. This is what proves they can't be the same person. They're physically in the same place at the same time. There is no way that they can be two different people in that scenario. But then it was at this point when I started wondering where Vanny came from, and why we are supposed to believe she and Vanessa were the same person. I have a theory, and I believe, starting with the former question, will better explain the latter question. First, there's the unexplained post-it room, where there's only where the only thing we really know about it is that an AI gains consciousness there from the ones and O's turning into drawings, turning into words, and that the AI knows about the Aftons, as there's a table there with the Afton family. A lot of people claim this is the room where Gregory came from, trying to claim Gregory is a robot. Well, I wouldn't say a lot of people, actually, it's more like a small subset group of people who follow the game theorist. But, anyway, I'm not convinced. There isn't enough evidence linking Gregory to being a robot, or to the Aftons, however. But, as you can probably tell I'm alluding to, Vanny has a connection to the Afton family. Aside from the obvious of Vanny trying to replicate William's murder, it's assumed that Vanny comes from Glitchtrap infecting the beta tester in Help Wanted. This would make Vanny directly linked to William Afton, and most likely to have put together the Afton table. So if Vanny is the one who put together the Afton table, that implies she is the AI that gained consciousness in that room. It makes sense, too. An entity created by bad code gaining a physical form would most likely start off writing in ones and zeros before learning how to write normally. It was also most likely Vanny that lived in the areas that clearly looked like someone tried making into places, most likely starting out in Kids Cove, where she quickly learned that living in the place where kids are going to play is very likely to get her caught very fast. So then, after living in Kids Cove for a bit and realizing it's not a good idea, she probably went to the secret room behind the daycare center, only again to learn it's a bad spot to go to because that's where the daycare attendant lives. She would have to escape there so that it wouldn't notice her. It's probably why she currently lives in her current hideout. It's out of the way just enough so no one will stumble upon her by accident, and it's off camera just enough that security wouldn't notice her. But even if she is an AI, I think there's more to it than just that. As I already alluded to, I think she's a physical manifestation of Glitchtrap. I know it sounds crazy, but we hear that physical manifestations are possible in Help Wanted, and it would explain why she can be defeated by playing all through Princess Quest games. The games are also directly connected to Glitchtrap. Heck, she even keeps Princess Quest 3 in her room like she knows it's attached to her and is trying to protect it. Now, this part is just speculation, but it's also possible that Vanny being a manifestation of a digital character could explain why Gregory's eyes get so weird when she gets close to him. Even if we assumed she had an illusion disc to make herself invisible to animatronics, we don't know what it looks like to animatronics or humans. This means the effects we see when she gets closer to Gregory could come from her being a digital character, but all that part is just speculation. Pay no real mind to it, it's just, this is a possibility. It doesn't change anything if it's not true. But all this does lead to one major question. Why does she look so much similar to Vanessa? Well, there are two possible reasons, and both of which can be true. First is the idea that Vanny is a body snatcher, a term created by MatPat to describe the entities in Fazbear Frights that steal people's identities. And the second idea is that Vanny and Vanessa weren't always different people. In an ironic twist, I do believe they started out as the same person. Many people, myself included, believe we play as Vanessa in Help Wanted, and it is in that game that we witness Vanessa getting infected with Glitchtrap. It is also in that moment that Vanny is created, but she doesn't have total control. In Special Delivery, the AR game for Five Nights at Freddy's, we see emails we weren't intended to see, including many from Lewis, the guy who gets flags from the system when people make non-work related inquiries. Specific emails mention how Vanessa's computer had searches like how to induce compliance in human subjects, how to induce self-compliance, and simply help. This shows us two things. That Vanessa is a bit more than a reluctant follower at first, and even completely non-compliant. And it shows us that Vanny has the ability to possess Vanessa's body for a short period of time, which is interesting. Obviously, if Vanessa isn't compliant, it would be problematic for Vanny's plan to replicate William's murders. Thus, why she had to search for ways to make Vanessa compliant. Although she was successful in getting Vanessa to be more compliant, evidence being that therapy tape sessions shows Vanessa saying she should be more compliant, it wasn't enough. Vanny wanted total control over her own body and thus needed her own physical form to fulfill her plans. The question was how to get one. Going back to the Fazbear Fright series, there's a story called Bunny Call, where a guy named Matt births an animatronic rabbit. Mind you, this guy seems to seem a whole lot like another Matt we all know, who may or may not be a YouTuber, primarily associated with the color green, also with the color red, yellow, and most recently blue. Yeah. But anyway, I found this story as odd, as it didn't seem to connect to any major part of the lore. But now I think it's possible that Vanny was birthed out of Vanessa, either literally or metaphorically, and became either a clone or technical daughter. Most likely, Vanny's plan was to steal Vanessa's identity, thus explaining why they looked so identical. But something happened that Vanny didn't anticipate. She developed a sort of amnesia, thus why she only writes her ones and O's before slowly regaining her memory and her consciousness. Vanny may have also had the body of a child for a while and needed to grow up, albeit a little faster than usual. This could even mean that she was the child character in the therapy tapes. Of course, anything past Vanny and Vanessa being two different people who were at one point the same person is just a theory. However, this theory could answer a lot of questions we were trying to answer while paving the way for other parts to be answered. So, thank you all so much for watching. And MatPat, if you happen to watch this video, I doubt you would have, but let's say you did, please feel free to tell me what you think. Thanks again, everyone, and have a good time.